My gosh, as if there isn't enough stuff happening out there. As if the struggle to earn an honest salary, try to live as well as possible, despite these turbulent times, well, weren't enough. There's always more. We're not aware about 20 French generals have just sent an open letter to French President Macron as well as the French government in general, warning them about a possible civil war, but also of the potential dangers floating above the hexagon. The letter is full of hope, realizations, but also distress. Seeing the country they cherish so much turning into a masquerade, run by individuals that seemingly might not know what they're doing, bending to norms that go against their own constitution. Knowing the history of Europe and the countries that form its continent, it's hard to believe that such a culture can be as divided, changed, an overall stranger to what it should be. Now, whatever you may think of their arguments, whether they're positive, negatives, true or false, well, is obviously up to you. What I will do is talk about the over-exaggerated reaction from the media and those in power that have been shared on social media and also the news. It's quite something to see men, but rather generals of a major military force like France being talked down as if they were mere insects, senile men not capable of reason or critical thoughts. And even more so, the absurd narrative imagined by the media exposing these generals only wanting a coup d'etat or putsch. Can they read, or what happened while they were writing their nonsense? And obviously politicians had to talk as well, but it's not my style to give out names, so we won't do that. We have this one, and that one. And by the way, this one is quite ironic, knowing that he used the word revolution countless times, and even more, asking for a punishment that these generals are going to get. Others jumped on the occasion to rally them to the cause, because as you know, the French elections are actually happening pretty soon. It also goes back to a point I made not so long ago, that freedom of speech is dead. I heard and I know that these generals, and actually anyone involved in the army, are not allowed to take a political side. But let me ask you, what is political there? Every point they made can be backed up by facts, which by the way, are all available at the Ministry of Interior of France. Crime rates go up, terrorists attack, despite having different nature, are also on the rise. By the way, it's worth pointing that in terms of crime rates, we don't really have a real sense who commit those crimes. Only the nationalities. I guess they will add other details in other circumstances. These men are allowed to vote and yet are being punished for their letter. It's pretty ironic. And I want to make something clear, as many other French aren't protecting or defending a political side. Those are based on personal opinions. They're defending values, which they had to fight for, and that the ancestors fought for as well. In such an age of information, I'm absolutely flabbergasted of the hypocrisy and unreasonable comments where many relay false information. Since when is being patriotic and proud of his country something that many called controversial? In which world are we living in? What's interesting is those same ones accusing those being patriotic are also fighting for minorities, preserving their culture and identity. Now, this is a pretty narrowed focus on problematics, which many think can be resolved radically, when it would actually take a lot of time. If we're frank, with the tools we have right now, not even conceivable. One reality though is that we have a divided country. At times when one had to worry about bills to pay, taxes, and the neighbor being annoying, has now to fear for his own life by going outside and even in the comfort of his own home. Norms are being shaken up entirely, standards absolutely thrown away, and the idea of an utopian world getting closer to reality. So I'll speak for them. So no, they are not going to start a putsch. In fact, it was never the idea. But they are warning for a potential civil war. Maybe a war of culture, a deconstruction of borders, with pockets getting bigger and bigger, and maybe the potential hand of a country known as France. Looking through different social media, as well as just the overall reaction from the people to these news, can potentially show us that these worries are wandering in people's minds. In fact, police officers are even scared to get in certain ghettos because they could get killed. And in fact, some were killed. The people ask for security, for protection. But how can you protect anyone when you can't even protect yourself? And then if the police cannot control, protect, or defend, well, that's when the military comes in. These different issues laid out in that letter aren't news. They're simply being more recurrent. Maybe the urgency has increased to such a point where even the army gets involved. So who will be next? Are there plausible solutions, or are there not? Are they legitimate in what they fear might happen? Are they not? Are they the first in line where many might follow? Many questions and not many answers. The only thing we're witnessing now is men worried about their country's outcome. Thanks again for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, if you want obviously. Comment if you have anything to add. Share, again, if you want. And I want to thank you for taking the time to watch all my videos. I've seen a little peak in audience recently, and I really appreciate it. See you soon.